Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start the first part of a three-part series of CTFs, which is based on the popular Avengers. I will get right into it. Again, I will reiterate the network settings which we had. It's the same as we had for the previous video, which was Troll 3. The adapter 1 of the Kali is NAT to provide internet ability. The adapter 2 is host only to connect to a vulnerable machine. Similarly, the vulnerable machine has only a single adapter, which is the host only adapter. Okay. So now we see that this is a vulnerable machine which has two users only, which is one is Morag and one is Stones. So we have to get into these. Morag, if people who have idea or knowledge about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they know that the Morag is the planet where the power stone was hidden, and there is another Stones. So I will give you a basic description which is there in the VulnHub of the CTF. So basically, it says that the Avengers, that Thanos needs all the six Infinity Stones, and Avengers have hidden them all across the CTF. So we have to help Thanos gain all the Infinity Stones and restore balance to the universe. Great. So we will start by net discover as we had done last time to find the IP address of our target machine. So we will let this run a while. Okay, so we got the IP address. Okay, so there is, as I had mentioned before, dot one is for the IP address of host system, dot 100 is the IP address of the virtual DHCP server, and this is the IP address which we require. It's 106. So we'll close this. I will perform now an nmap scan to see which ports are open. This is an unmapped and aggressive scan which does all sorts of version scan and also OS detection and also does the trace route. So we can get all sorts of scans from this nmap. Okay, so this is complete. We see that the port 22 is open, which is HTTP, which is SSH. Port 80 is open, which is HTTP. Port 443, which is HTTPS, and port 8080, which is some software called Jetty. Also, we can see that we got the mine stone, which was present in the SSL certificate. So we got the first stone, which was pretty easily by just running an nmap. So I will create a file called stones. I will paste this, and this is the first stone which we got. Okay. So now as HTTP is open, so we will go directly to it. 1.4.1.6. So HTTP is open. So we got this page. Okay. So home will redirect us to there. Let's go to Ether. Okay. So this is a quiz for people knowing about Avengers. This should be a cakewalk. So I will start as I am very interested in this Marvel cinematic universe and also Marvel comics. So there are three Infinity Stones. This was false as there were two only. So this is true. This was Tony Stark and Nebula. And as a Power Stone when he first appeared, yes, he destroyed Morag. So that is this is false. This is true. Let's go. There's a Guardian of Space Stone. This is false. This is false. Rocket is the only one. So it's true. Okay. So let's go to page source. I don't know why we were answering this, so we need to find out. There must be something. So I don't think there is anything in the page source. This is simple HTTP form. There is nothing here. So one thing which we can do is we can convert as in computer science or in binary basically. I'm sorry. In binary, one represents true and basically true is represented by 1 and false is represented by 0. So what we can do is we can convert it to a binary number which will be 0 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 1 1 0. Okay, let's convert it to binary. This 0 1 1 0 1 0 0 1. Okay, so it's 0 1 1 0 1 0 0 1. Okay, this is the binary. So this binary can one thought, the immediate thought which comes to my mind that is that this binary can be some hidden directory on my server. So let's try it, if it is actually a hidden directory. So yes, it's a hidden directory, and there is a hinge.txt which consists of this thing. So as I already know this, so this is a encrypted form of a particular of a plain text. So as I already know about this encryption process, but people who don't know might have to perform an intensive Google search to find out which exactly encryption scheme is it following. But I will directly tell you that it is something known as brainfuck encryption, and there is an online available decoder for it. So we'll directly go to the decoder, and we will paste our encrypted text, and we will execute the decoder, and it's giving the results. Okay, so we got the results. It's admin and Avengers. There's some weird text. It's of no use. So it's admin and Avengers. So I will just create a file of admin and Avengers as it is in Morag or Stone. So I don't think we will be able to SSH. So it is credentials of, I guess, some other thing, some other service which is running on some other port, as we have three more ports to check. So this is where we complete this thing. Okay. So now what we will do is, as we have a HTTP server, so what we can do is run the derb tool. So what the derb tool does is, it has some predefined set of directory names in its default mode. Okay. So what it does, it performs a brute force and requests the server with all the directory names. And for the directory names, it receives 200 message, which is available message. It displays that directories. So it will help us find out the directory structure of the particular HTTP server. So how is it done? I will perform dir 192.168.56.106. Let's do this. So see, there are generated words of 4612. It finds the word list from common.txt and executes it. So it has completed its execution. So there is a directory with images, there is a directory of img, and there is a directory of Wi-Fi. There is a server status. Index.html is something which we have already seen, which is the index page. This is index.html. Server status, the code is 403, means it is forbidden to access. So we have only these three folders which we can see. So let's go to images first. Let's see what it has. It's images. So, okay, it has some images actually. So it's the images of all the stones, and it's the images of all the five Avengers. Okay, I don't think this contains anything. So let's go to some different folder. So there's an img folder. Let's try that. Okay, it contains a space.jpg. So as it is a standalone image, so I suspect that there is something here. So I will save it to a terminal. So one thing, we can perform a steganography on this, but that should be the latest idea or the later stage idea which a person should have in mind. The first and foremost to a person, something that should come in mind of any person while seeing a file he or she wants to analyze is perform a scan of metadata of the file, because it contains a lot of information. So we will see what is the metadata of this file. Let's see. Okay, so we got another key here, which is the space stone, and there is nothing else here. So we got the second stone also, which was by seeing the metadata of the file space.jpg. So basically, this is the image of a tesseract which contains the space stone. So we got something from this. The third directory which was there was Wi-Fi. So it contains a reality.cap and it contains a pwd.txt. So let's download this reality.cap file. It's contained. So I will copy the to my current folder. It is a cap file which we have encountered in my last video also, which is in Troll 3. So it is a packet capture file. So during a Wi-Fi authentication, the packets are exchanged between the router and your machine. So this captures all those packets and puts it in a packet file. This .cap file. We also have a pwd.txt. So let's see if this also. Let's do first strings pwd.txt. Okay, there is nothing there. So I will look at. So it says that the password is supposed password is Thanos's daughter's name, which is Gamora. So GAM plus one uppercase character, two numbers, two lowercase character, and year of first Avengers movie. So which is 2012. So I have already created a script for this. I will Python script. I will explain you. So I'm importing the permutation, combination, and product. These two are actually are not actually needed. Only the product is needed. So the basis of the password is GAM. I create a permutation list of 0 to 10, range 0 to 10, with a repeat of 2. And I do a product of it. Why I do a product? Because 0, 0 is also possible. So what is does it does is it takes a list of numbers from 0 to 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it does a cross product with itself. So it creates 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, so on. Same thing is done for all the lowercase characters. Why I did this? Because there will be two lowercase characters and two numbers, so I created this two. Now what I will do is take each uppercase character and concatenate it with gam and store it in a list. Now I take each member of this list, and for each member I concatenate every part of this list, which is the numbers, two numbers. Then I store it in another list. Now I take this list, and for each element of this list, I append it with each element of this particular list, which contains two lowercase character combinations of product of all of them, and I get a final list, and I store it in a wordlist.txt. So it's a basic Python script. I will just run it, generate all passes. Okay, so it's over. Let's see head of wordlist.txt. So this is a password, blueprint of the password. Okay. So now, like before, we will run aircrackng on wordlist.txt and reality.cap. So we have to wait for it to complete. Okay, so we cracked up a key which is found, which is in the reality.cap file. As reality is not a user, so we don't have any way to do SSH there. So let's see what this reality can be. So I will try and guess that it is a directory. It's all about guessing. So we can also keep it, and then as I have nothing else other than this particular key right now, so I will try and find it keep it as a directory. So I will just enter this. So yes, it was indeed a directory in hidden directory in my HTTP server. So I will copy this. I got the reality stone. So something which might come to your mind is why I chose this as a directory, as it was a key. It could have been credentials and all those sort of things. So I would like you to suggest that you have to try all possible things. Okay, and as a pen tester, you should never like feel that I'm at a dead end, because whatever resources you have in hand, it could be anything. Like this is supposedly thought of as a password, but it was actually a directory name in the HTTP server. So you should try all possible things. You should not give up. And if you continue trying and continue enumerating, you will surely get what you want. So we have 3 stones. We have 3 more to go. So now let's try different port. So I have already tried port number 80. I will now try port number 126, port number 8080, which was open and which was running some service which we don't know. Okay, so I guess, okay, so I guess Jenkins was here. Jenkins is running. So Jenkins is a CI/CD platform. So it basically helps in the deployment and continuous integration. So it's running Jenkins, and let's see. So We have a credential which is admin and Avengers. So I will sign into it and we get the access. So that credential was actually for admin, for Jenkins admin. Okay. So now one thing is we can see that there is not much of thing in the Jenkins as it's a clean slate. So we won't be able to explain anything from right here. Maybe we can, what we can do, that every machine which runs Jenkins also has a user named Jenkins. So if we can get into the user Jenkins, then there might be something which we can do. So to do that, one thing we can do is we can use Metasploit. So Metasploit is a very popular pen testing tool. It contains all the exploits. Okay, and it is used by like every pen tester. So Metasploit is a very impressive tool written in Ruby, and it contains all the latest exploits. So I will state though you can load the Metasploit using MSF console. Uh, so let's wait for it to load. It takes time to load because it loads a lot of exploits. Okay, so we got into the Metasploit terminal. This is what the Metasploit terminal looks like. So now what we will do is the command line, the commands for Metasploit are very easy. So what to use a particular exploit, what you do is type use exploit. This is a directory. Inside that there is a multi directory. We'll go to HTTP and Jenkins script console. So we use this exploit. I know about this exploit because I've already worked in it, but you can always Google like this Jenkins exploit Metasploit. Then search it, and you will definitely get script console Java execution. There is a particular exploit already, and it is actually giving you the exact path. So you can do use exploit multi HTTP script console. Okay, so you can do it like that. Now the show options command shows you the options which are required for this exploit. So there are some options which are not required, still you can give, and there are some options which are definitely required. One of it is rhosts. So rhosts is the IP of your target. So I will set rhosts as now I have to set the R port because it's set at 80, but we actually need it in 8080. Okay. So this thing is fine. It doesn't matter. SSL and the target URI. So the target URI is basically which directory you want to target. So we want to target root directory of this Jenkins CI/CD platform. So I will set target URI to slash bit, and what more. So there is an option of username and there is an option of password. As we have username and password, let's set it. So the username is admin, set password to Avengers, great. And the exploit target. So 0 is Windows, but our target is Linux, so we will set target to 1. So I think we have set all the options which are required. We have set all the options. Now let's type exploit. So now it will try to exploit. Okay, so we got a Metapreter session. So Metapreter session is a session which Metapreter is basically a payload which is executed by the Metasploit framework. So it gives us a session of the user. So now one thing to note that Metapreter session is actually a bash session. We won't have all the Linux command. We may be able to use some command like ls and all, but cat also we can use one clear command example. We can't use clear command. So to use all the commands of Linux, we can do shell. So if you do shell, this is a shell that is created, although it doesn't have a prompt, but it is actually a shell. So if I do ls, it's given here. So now what I will do is, as I am in the user Jenkins, so as I am logged in a remote machine for user Jenkins, so now one thing which we can do is find out which files, like always we did, was find out which files we have sudo permission of. Okay, or for which file which have so for all the file permission there is a SUID bit which is set and which is not set. So SUID bit which is set is the file which is of our concern. So what we can do is we find in the root directory, the type is file and the permission is, and this 4000. This indicates if the SUID bit is set or not. And for all the errors, we'll go to dev null. And now we shall wait for the results. Okay, so we got the results. So there is an OPT script file because I see that the bin umount, bin su, bin mount, these files are actually practically of no use to us as they are system files. This OPT script file looks something which is not a system file. So what we can do is, let's see if it's over. Is it over? No, it's not over here. Let's stop it. I will go to shell and I will go to cd/opt. Okay. So there is a script file and there is a morak.kdbx. I think this is also something which will be useful for us. So there is also a script file. So let's see what type of file. Okay, so backspace doesn't work in shell. So we go to /opt and we will see file script. It's pretty irritating. Okay, cd/opt and file script. So it is an ELF 64-bit executable, so we can directly execute it /script. Okay, and we got the time store. Time store. Okay, so I will save this time store. Save it. So we have 4 stones. We have 2 to go. The soul and the power stone is left. So again, we go to shell. We go to opt, and now we see that there is a morak.kdbx. Okay, so what I would say that we this should be something which is helpful because kdbx is basically a key password database. So many of you must have used some application to store your passwords in an encrypted way so that you don't have to remember it and they are saved in an encrypted way. So KDBX is also such type of file which consists of passwords in encrypted fashion which are secured by a master password. So this thing could also potentially have the password of the Morag user of our vulnerable machine. So what we can do is we need this file, we can't download it directly. So we will do a clever way of copying morag.kdbx to my var www.html. Okay, I copied it. Why I did that is because I am able to access the HTTP server, and now I will just do morag.kdbx and I will potentially be able to download this file. So now I will cut this morag.kdbx, I will go to infinity stores, I will paste it. I have this file. So now, okay, I have the morag.kdbx file. Let's stop this also. Right. I have this morag.kdbx file. So now there I need to, so this kdbx file is actually not visible, like it's not readable as it's an encrypted file. So now what we are, there is a tool which is keypass to John, which takes a kdbx file and converts it into a hash. So if I do this, I get a morag.hash. So what it does is basically as there's a tool called John which does a brute force attack on hashes. So it has a set of passwords or set of words which it tries to brute force against a particular hash. So keypass to John basically converts morag.kdbx into a hash which could be brute forced by the John provided it has the key in its word list. So this is the user morag, this is the particular key. So now I will use John morag.hash. Okay, So it says loaded one password hash, but it didn't show it because we didn't give the option of show. So I will do minus minus show, and we got the password. So it's Morag Princess A. So this password is actually not the password of Morag user, but this is the password of the KDBX file, master password of the KDBX file. So after we log in into this KDBX file using this master password, we will be able to get in the credentials for our what do you say, for our user Morag. Okay, so now what we will do, there is a KPCLI tool. So KPCLI is basically useful for this KDBX format. Like KDBX is actually a software, so it has a GUI. But KPCLI is the command line interface for KDBX type files, so that we can give the master password and we are able to access all our credentials. So I will give it as KDB file and supply morad.kdbx. So it asks for the master password. It's Princess A, and I am able to access it. So there is a Morag group, and there are many folders here: Windows, Recycle Bin, Network, Home Banking, General, Flag, and Threads. So the folder which is useful, which looks useful for us, is Flag. Let's go to this, and we are able to. So one thing, the cat command doesn't work. The show command is there, so I will be able to get the Power Stone. So let's go to Infinity Stones, Nano Stones. So we got the fifth stone. We just have one stone left, and I'm sure we will get it pretty easily. So now there is one more folder, which is the creds folder, which I guess is required. ls. I will do show creds. So we got this. So this looks like some base 64 encoding. This is not exactly the password, but this is an encoded password in base64 format, because this KDBX file doesn't directly save the password because it's not secure. It converted into a base64 format, and it has saved the password. So what we can do is we can exit from here. There is we can do nano morag password. We paste this password. We can do base64 minus decode morag pass. So we got it. The username is Mora and the password is Yondu. Great. So now we can finally perform SSH. Mora and create 6, and the password is Yondu. Let's wait for it. Why is it taking so much time? It shouldn't. Okay, so we got the user access. We got the Morag access, and it has some beautiful graphics which they are shown us. Okay, so now as let's see, there is no file in the desktop, there's nothing here. So one thing that comes to mind is, let's see what privileges does Morag have. So Morag has an FTP privileges as a root. So a Morag can, so this means the Morag user can run FTP as root. So this is now a pretty easy privilege escalation which we can do. Is what we can do is we can do sudo FTP, and in FTP there is we can spawn a shell from FTP by just using exclamation mark. So in FTP, if we provide exclamation mark and press enter, so the user which is running the FTP will spawn its shell. So as we are running as a root user, sudo user, which is the root user, if we put exclamation mark and if we press enter, it will spawn as the root shell. So we got the root shell, and let's see, we got the root shell, and now we have to get the flag. So let's go to /root directory, and we have a final flag which is soulstone. We copy it, we do nano stones, we paste it, and there is a beautiful graphic here. Congratulations, you found the final flag. This is the Infinity Gauntlet with the stones embedded in it, and we got the final stone, and this marks the end of our vulnerable machine, the part one of this. The second part and third part, I will be posting videos, and I hope you liked the video. I hope I was able to make myself clear, and I hope you understood it. If you liked it, please like the video, please share the video, and please subscribe to the channel. For any doubts, kindly post in the comments. I will be clearing all the doubts. So keep practicing more and more. Try to clear your concepts more and more. It's Please remember, it's not about the tools, it's about your basic underlying concepts. So if you have a concepts, then you won't need tool in most of the cases, but some cases it's required, like it was today. So keep practicing, and continuously try to enhance yourself, and please like, share, and subscribe this video, and post all your doubts in the comments. So happy hacking.